So guys, I just bought this $60 CarPlay screen from Amazon. My question is, was this a mistake? It has decent reviews on Amazon with a 4.5 rating and 38 reviews. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing and take a look at it. This is the Plimpton L1, and it retails for $59.99 on Amazon. Let's look at the packaging. It comes in a kind of plastic wrap out of the package. It's got a pretty basic, almost Apple-inspired packaging. In terms of specs, it's got a 7-inch touchscreen, an HD display, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, supports AirPlay screen mirroring, and Android screen mirroring. Inside the box, we're going to find the screen itself, a dashboard mount, a cigarette lighter charger with USB-C, an aux cable, and a user manual. All that said, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. I've actually been wanting a CarPlay unit for my car for forever. And guys, please ignore my cutting technique. The tripod in front of me was kind of blocking my movements, which is why I look a little goofy trying to use this kitchen knife to open it, so yeah. You can see I basically gave up on trying to open it neatly and just ripped the plastic open. But then again, what's the point of having plastic wrap over the package and then still sealing the package with stickers? But I digress. Let's go ahead and break the seal and get the lid off. And alright, inside it's pretty simple. We've got a 1-year extended warranty card, a user manual. Let's go ahead and flip through that really quick. That user manual doesn't really look like it has much to it, so we'll just move on to the next thing. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And now we have the actual screen itself. And my first thought is, wow, those are some chunky bezels. And what's worse is that the bezels are all uneven, which looks pretty goofy. But if we flip it around back, we're going to see a pretty simple mounting mechanism. And guys, to be honest with you, it's kind of weird that in 2024 we can still find things with bezels this big. I mean, you can find a $70 phone with way thinner bezels than this thing. And it's a way thinner unit overall, too. Alright, this looks like it's the sticky pad for the dashboard mounting mechanism. Here's the Type-C charger. And then the dashboard mount, and looks like they included an extra sticky pad just in case. And finally, we've got the aux cord, so let's go ahead and set everything to the side. You know, honestly, it doesn't look so bad. I could honestly get used to this. Let's go ahead and take everything else out of the packaging as well. And I have another video coming up soon where I'm going to be reviewing an HP 14-inch laptop I got for $179 at Best Buy. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Let's go ahead and get situated in my car so I can install this thing. So guys, something interesting that I noticed that the manual doesn't actually have any instruction on how to actually set it up, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. You just have to take the pad and stick it to the dashboard, but before you did that, you gotta remove the sticker cover so you can stick it directly to the dashboard. Then you had to screw something in, and then it was basically good to go. After that, then you had to hook up the screen onto the stand. So somehow I installed it on the mount backwards, and I think this is a result of poor design because the power port's placement is on the left, and like a logical person, I assumed it would be on the right. The overall design on the back just makes it seem like it should be that way, but obviously that wasn't correct. I also checked the settings to see if there was potentially a setting to rotate the screen, but there was no way to rotate it, so I think I actually just put it on backwards. And guys, that brings me to my first negative of this device, the weird power port placement. I think for the most seamless cable management, they should have just put the power port on the right, but I digress. So now guys, I was able to remount it and get it installed properly. Assuming the setup process for this is like any other CarPlay system, we would just have to first get the device ready for pairing and tap the CarPlay icon on the screen, then head to Bluetooth settings on my phone and find it in the Bluetooth settings. Alright, we're gonna hit pair to confirm the number, allow contact syncing, and then start CarPlay, and there we go. Apple Maps is now functioning on the display. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and give this a test, and we're gonna open Spotify and try to play some music on here. And oof, you guys, one thing I noticed while testing this thing is that the scrolling is pretty laggy, especially when you're scrolling in a list. But even on the home screen, it's pretty laggy. I'm not sure if that's a CarPlay thing or if that's a unit thing, but I have used CarPlay in other people's cars before, and I have not noticed this, so I do think it is a problem with the unit. Other than that, it's fairly responsive.
Just as a quick aside, I did test CarPlay in this Range Rover Velar that I have here, and just wanted to confirm that this is a problem with the unit. As you can see here, it's pretty smooth, and yeah, we'll move on to the next thing.
Okay, so I wasn't hearing audio coming from the car radio, and it was actually coming from built-in speakers on the unit, which I didn't even know it had. I was able to make it so that the audio still comes through the Bluetooth audio system in my 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe, so now it is now fully functional. So enough setup demonstration, guys, let's get to the meat. What did I think of it? It's fine. No, really, it's fine. Look, you guys, it's a $60 CarPlay unit that isn't directly wired to my car's fuses, so obviously we have to really lower our expectations. So let's talk about the things I liked first. First of all, this was really easy to install in my car and took probably about 5 minutes, but if you weren't slow like me, you would probably get it done even quicker. I like that even though it's a 7-inch screen, it still feels large enough to do everything you need to do. I also think that this unit is perfect for cars like mine that have a somewhat updated car radio. My car has Bluetooth audio and hands-free calling, so all of that is processed through the car with no issues. The unit does come with an aux cable in the box like I mentioned before, so if you have an older car with no Bluetooth, you can still physically wire it into your car still. I do believe this unit has a mic on it so that you can still do phone calls, but it is not something I would rely on. So yeah, this unit is perfect to update your car just a little bit. Plus, while driving, it's not very distracting, and I've driven with it at night, and it isn't super blinding either. At the same time, I can still see while driving in broad daylight. Siri does work quite well with CarPlay, and it is still responsive as usual. Even though the screen resolution of this unit is slightly below 720p, it's still pretty clear. Not to mention the boot up process after you start your car is pretty quick. Just watch. I personally think this unit offers a lot for the price, and it is perfect for someone who doesn't want to spend a whole lot to get to the modern features. But I do have to also dive into the negatives. The placement of the power port was really baffling and annoying, and something I still don't understand even as I'm writing the script. Lagginess is something that occurs pretty often, especially when you're scrolling or sliding anything on the screen. Also, the fact that there are no installation instructions in the box is something that I thought was really baffling, and it's something that concerns me especially with this particular unit, but I'm sure the one I have is just an anomaly, but it is something to look out for. There is a glitch I noticed, but to be honest, I'm not sure if this has to do with the unit itself or the Bluetooth system in my car radio. Every time music is playing as it connects to the car, for a split second after CarPlay is connected, it blares loudly on my phone before connecting to the car. I think this is more the car's issues, but I've not had this problem before, so I think it's a bit of both. This screen in particular was also advertised to have 360-degree rotation, and in practice, that's just not true. The mounting system is sturdy enough that it's not shaking when driving, even over bumpy roads, but when tapping a lot, especially in the top half of the screen, it can be quite shaky, and even though I'm 80% sure I screwed it in correctly, as you can see, it still rocks a lot and isn't quite stable. This is also where the lack of installation instructions really comes back to bite you. because while I'm sure I installed it correctly, it's possible I might have messed something up without knowing, and this is something that the manufacturers really need to fix. Now, I had a few other thoughts that weren't necessarily positive or negative, but things I found interesting. First, it seems that the unit has the capability to display a backup camera feed. I have no idea how that is supposed to be set up, but it is an option. Second, the unit is essentially a car radio without the radio. It can play music locally using an SD card reader that is on the side. Third, I find it interesting that it has such an outdated design but still has Type-C. That being said, I am not complaining. Overall, I think that the unit is a great deal for $60. It is easy to install, somewhat responsive, and supports both Androids and iPhones. Obviously, you can get something better that does not have lagginess and weird mounting systems. That being said, for the price, this is a pretty great product, and definitely one I'm going to keep in my car for the time being. I really like having the more advanced features of CarPlay, and this is a pretty cheap entry. And guys, I think this unit is definitely much better than just buying an aftermarket radio and replacing the entire thing. This screen is perfect for those who want the CarPlay features without paying too much for it. And honestly, I think the whole thing about installing aftermarket radios, something can go wrong, and it is so easy to mess something up and void your warranty or make it so that actual manufacturers will never work on your car again. So I've always been a fan of solutions like this. Overall, I'd say this unit is about a 7.5 out of 10, especially considering the price of it. So I think this is something that is definitely worth the money, and I highly recommend it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. This is MDC Technology Central, and I'll catch you later.